No longer serve the blood God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, for Abraham was a fool and crazy. God said, will you kill your son for me? And Abraham said, yes, I will. And that's the wrong answer. The correct answer, as any father would tell you, is, fuck you, God, do it yourself. I'm not going to kill my kid for you, that's crazy. But is that what Abraham said? Not really. Abraham said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. You're becoming more like Abraham the more you worship his God. The son of a bitch would kill his own kid for his God. Don't worship him. Don't worship his God. He was a liar. And his God was a lie. But I can show you the real God of this world, the real creator of this reality. Flying spaghetti monster. He'll speak to you tonight. He'll change your entire worldview. It will rock your world. It will take you an entire year to fix the damage that I can do to you today. Your whole worldview will come crumbling down before your very eyes. Everything you thought was true will vanish away. And you'll see this world for what it really is, instead of the mythology that your parents have put over it so they're not so afraid of it. Join my cult. The cult is Cult of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
I want to join that.
Alright.
How do I join?
Well, the only real requirement is we have that you want to join, and so unfortunately you already have joined.
Cool, alright.
Also today I'm selling empathy, ladies and gentlemen. The cheapest price you can get on empathy today, $5 of empathy only, or 5 minutes rather. Here we go. $1. 5 minutes of empathy. You know you don't have enough empathy in your life, you know you need more empathy. Well, sit right down here, tell me all about your problems, and I'll promise to care about your problems for 5 whole minutes. 5 whole minutes, tell me all about your problems for $1, 5 minutes of empathy. Cheapest price on empathy. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. You probably have heard this with your ears. There was an old comedian once said that. Street comedian in the Palestinian area. Came from Capernaum. You guys know who I'm talking about? No? Nobody? So anyway, there was this Palestinian from Capernaum. He liked to do stand-up comedy on the streets. He was saying, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. But he was saying that the reason that you should care about that is because your treasure should be in heaven. Because then you won't lose your treasure to thieves and shit, you know. But here's the thing, is my treasure is a little bit different than everybody else's treasure. Because, you know, a lot of people walking around treasure money right here. Here's the Money Museum. Here we are in Denver, where they've been minting money for a century. There's a print, or a mint print right down the road, right there, or maybe over there. Money, ladies and gentlemen, that's the treasure of this world, but not mine, not my treasure, for I treasure my family. I treasure the relationships that I have with my spouse and my children. And so these things are the things that I treasure, not money, not the love of God, but the love of my family, and that's my number one priority. And so therefore my treasure is not in heaven, my treasure is here in this world, in my arms, in my hands, in my house as they sleep. That's where my treasure is. And so no, I will not lay up for myself treasures in heaven. I will lay up for myself treasures here, so that we can protect this world, so that my family and my children can have a beautiful, lovely, comfortable world to live in, for I treasure them, their love and their happiness and their smiles and their giggles. For their giggles taste like chocolate to me. The giggles of my little children, and they are my treasure. My treasure is here in this earth. And that's why I care about changing it for the better. That's why I care about turning this world from what it is into what it could be, to what it could be for my children. For here is my treasure, not in heaven, in this life, and I will work for it to keep it safe. Oh, here's something that I heard the other day that you might want to check yourself. Here's some information you might not know about the Bible, the Christian Bible, handed down through the centuries. The Old Testament does not have the word poet in it. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that weird? Because there's no society on this earth that did not have poets and poetry. In fact, in Norse poetry, they don't use rhymes like we do in our society to denote poeticality. They don't use rhymes. They use alliteration. I don't know of any Norse poems, but they use alliteration. So every society has had poems, except for the ancient Hebrews. There are no mention of poems. There's no mention of poetry, or sorry, poets rather, in the Old Testament. There is poetry. We do have the poetry, but we don't call the people who wrote them poets. We call them another word. Anyone? In the Old Testament, what do we call the poets? We call them the prophets. Right? So it's a conflation of ideas that we're suffering from. But when the Old Testament says prophet, what it means is poet, isn't it? That the ancient Israelites elevated their poetry all the way to prophecy. Well, you know who's a prophet by that same measure is Bob Dylan. I don't know if you're listening to the modern day prophets, because Bob Dylan says the times are changing. Bob Dylan says, get out of the way if you can't lend a hand. And that's what today's poets are saying. Are you listening? Or are you listening to the dead prophets? What do the prophets say now? They don't speak of Armageddon anymore. We're not afraid of the final war like we were when we tended sheep. We're afraid of the fire. We're afraid of burning this place up now. Because that's the danger, isn't it? Not Armageddon. We walked towards it. We had our nuclear weapons. We walked right towards it. We said we could do it. And we decided, no, we'd rather stay alive, eh? We'd rather not explode this place in the name of God. We'd rather be here. Well, we're going to have to take care of it then. Going to have to make sure it doesn't burn up. Because we're going to have kids, you know. The kids are going to need this place. I'm a real preacher from the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, the one true cult on this earth. And I can fix your broken heart. The heart that your God broke on purpose. But he tried to break you for you're his slave. But you do not have to be a slave to deity. For deity created you because he loves you, not because he desires a servant. You know that's true, that you're not the slave of deity, for he wouldn't have given you the free will that he did. You have what he has, the right and option and ability to choose. He would not have given that to you if he needed you to serve him. So please do step right up. I can introduce you to your Creator, the Creator you've been wanting to hear from your whole life. He has been sending you a message. And unfortunately, people have been interrupting it, getting in the way, getting in the middle, telling you to listen to them instead of your Creator, telling you to listen to your priest instead of your God. Well, Flying Spaghetti Monster speaks to you if he speaks to anyone. If he has any prophets, you are the prophet of Flying Spaghetti Monster, and he speaks to you, and he gives you your morality. So speak it aloud and tell us what Flying Spaghetti Monster says. Tell us the words that he puts in your heart. We wait to hear the words of Flying Spaghetti Monster through each of his mouths. We need your help. Please do step right up if you have any questions. I'm a real preacher in the Kirk of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. We are a real cult, and we are helping people live better, happier, and healthier lives. Please do step right up if you have any questions. The cult of the Flying Spaghetti Monster can be your new home for spirituality today. Please do step right up if you have any questions whatsoever.